Hey, what up? It's me, Zarek. Like the asshole from from Twitter. The guy that doesn't shut up about Freddy Fazbear. Yeah, that's me. Hi. Hey, hi. Welcome to like a genuine video. Don't ask what's behind me. It's just like the old version of the prize corner of the fan game that I'm making. Yes, this is a shameless plug. Go like follow Tales of the Bunny. Hi. This video is essentially about all the weird, very obvious instances of FNAF movie foreshadowing that.
Luke, I am your father.
Nuh-uh.
The fuck you mean, nuh-uh?
Nuh-uh.
Before anyone says, "Oh, but the first movie debunked this," nuh-uh. The first movie did not debunk this. Because one, if they wanted to reveal this, the movie would suck ass because there is no mystery now. There is no like content for a trilogy. Two, the movie did not debunk this. And how am I gonna present my evidence? Well,
Número uno.
Yet, you sit before me asking for help. I am just trying to figure out who you are, Mr. Michael Coffee?
he subtly changes behavior when seeing the last name of Mike, which is Michael Schmidt, his full name, right? Which is pretty weird and doesn't even match if Garrett was just a random occurrence of, you know what? Let's kidnap this kid, right? Because why would he remember his name? Well, did like the car ride that like William did was like got so boring. He was like, "Hey kid, what's your last name?" And Garrett was like, "Oh, my name is Garrett by victim Schmidt." And it was like, "Cool." Anyways, which, by the way, Garrett's kidnapping as a whole is really weird and really strange because it's extremely out of character for William. Because William's first ever murderer always had a reason behind it, right? In the novels, William killed Charlie out of fucking anger, out of jealousy of Henry, And in the FNAF games, it was either the same reason or he was just, or he was starting to fuck around and find out, But here, he just goes to Nebraska? Do you know how fucking far away Nebraska is? What was his ass doing here?
Número dos.
Abs, with the day that I'm having, can you just eat some food?
Sitting on my friend.
By the way, I have barely seen people mention this in the community itself. Abby knows. Abby already knew the Golden Freddy kid beforehand. Isn't it a little bit weird that Piss Bear, Yellow Bear, Fred Bear, is the one that already knew where Mike lived and was probably already stalking him beforehand? Meanwhile, all the other animatronics didn't even know about him. That they didn't even know him. Like Mike and Golden Freddy having a connection has always been part of Mike's character, And so it would be really weird if they didn't do that connection anyways, and somehow, that's part of his character. Just like Mike has a connection to Foxy, which in the very shitty novel. Right, that is very established with Mike literally being like the only one that like plays around with Foxy when they're like making like the little tower thing. I forgot. So yeah, but him knowing where he lives is very interesting.
Número tres.
So there's this theory that we can't forget things. Basically, it says that every single thing that you see your entire lifetime, the tiniest of details gets stored inside of you. You just have to know how to look.
Your brother. You think you saw who took him?
I know I did. And I know that he's in here, but it's buried. So every night I dream, and I go back to that same memory, and I search for details. For any little thing that got overlooked.
This also never paid off in the movie. And this is quite literally Mike's whole motivation. The whole motivation of Mike keep dreaming and dreaming and dreaming and dreaming is because he is sure he knows who the killer is. He saw the killer's face. But it never pays off because we never see, the killer's face. We saw that memory literally 5 times. We saw 5 different versions of that memory, right? And none of them we were able to see his face. And when the Golden Freddy kid, the one that's stalking his house, the weirdo, right, talks to him, and he asks, "Oh, do you know who took my brother?" I don't know. It's almost like he's looking at the wrong memory. He's looking at the wrong place. He's not focusing on the yellow rabbit. Maybe he has a memory involving it where they show the killers. I don't know.
Número 4.
So, this is very specific, but in the movie, the only character that calls Mike, Michael, is William himself.
I am just trying to figure out who you are, Mr. Michael.
You, however, are finished. Farewell, Michael Schmidt.
That's enough!
Everybody calls Mike Mike, and Mike, even when he's presenting himself, he just says Mike. He doesn't even say his last name, which is also pretty weird. Like, that, it is pretty weird, and every time he says Michael, the moment for some reason is somewhat highlighted. And, by the way, fun fact, the franchise refers to him as Michael, is when Mike is talking to William in the FNAF sister location Golden Freddy cutscene.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it.
A little bit strange, isn't it?
Número 5.
Ever since we got Jane, they announced Jane, she interested me. She was always this weird, little anomaly in the movie universe that I just never understood. And when the movie came out, she was much more than I expected. Her whole motivation on wanting Abby for herself is weird, right? If we go by just the novel, it's literally just money. She wants money. She wants that moolah. She wants that cash. But at the same time, the novel is very unreliable, and a lot of characters are very out of character. Like, for some reason, Max is just weirdly horny. I don't like that. It's very unreliable. And the fact that Scott had to literally make a post guys, no, Doug is not a sex offender. Please, he's not. No. I don't trust that much. The only character that really is consistent throughout the novel and the movie is Mike, kind of. Not really. It's complicated, but yeah. But if you go by the movie itself, it is very interesting how Jane wants Abby, right? She wants, Abby's custody, and she genuinely believes that Mike is somewhat of a threat, right? Which is interesting, right? She genuinely believes that Mike is some kind of threat. Max is literally a spy to just keep Mike in check. That is really weird, right? Their final interaction is so weird.
She reminds me of you, you know. Always with the temper.
Well, look, when she calms down, can you tell her that I'm sorry and that I'll be back soon?
Well, Mike, there's a larger conversation that needs to happen here. So when you do get back, you and me are gonna have a little chat.
Okay.
What is the larger conversation that needs to be had here? Also, her mentioning earlier that, you know, Mike always had a temper tantrum is very interesting, because that is true. Game Mike is really an asshole. Game Mike is an asshole, but it also just kind of don't match what we learn of Mike in this, you know, in this, you know, in this story. If Mike really is William's son, it would make absolute sense to why she's so paranoid around him, because he's a serial killer. He's a serial killer's kid. She probably knows this, right? No wonder I would be paranoid as well. If my nephew, right, was like the son of the Zodiac killer, girl, I would be terrified, you know. But there's probably more stuff that I missed. This video was made in like what, some hours. There is no script. I think it was very obvious there is no script. It was fun anyways. But that's about it. I will probably not shut up about this. And yeah, here's